On October 12, 2013, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Kelly Dwyer failed to arrive for her shift at work. Her phone was dead. Her social media accounts, normally active multiple times daily, had gone silent. Within hours, friends and family realized Kelly had vanished without a trace. This is the story of a woman who moved to Milwaukee to create a new life, only to encounter a danger she could not have anticipated. It is a story about hidden lives, surveillance footage that revealed a chilling truth, and a 160-mile journey that would become the centerpiece of a murder investigation. Kelly was last seen entering her boyfriend's luxury apartment building. Security cameras captured her walking in, but they never captured her walking out. Kelly Dwyer grew up in Lincolnshire, Illinois. After her parents divorced during high school, she channeled her energy into tennis and school activities. In 2008, at age 22, she moved to Milwaukee, determined to carve out her own path. The city suited Kelly perfectly. She discovered yoga, became an instructor, and worked as an educator at Lululemon in the 3rd Ward. She also taught classes at Core Essence on Brady Street and worked part-time as a nanny. Her father, Tony Dwyer, noticed during a September 2013 visit that his daughter seemed genuinely happy and settled. But beneath the surface of Kelly's seemingly perfect life, darker currents were beginning to pull her under. In 2012, Kelly had met Chris Zacco through mutual friends. He was 38, 11 years her senior, and presented himself as a successful IT executive with a background working for the New York Yankees. Zacco lived on the 18th floor of Park Lafayette Towers, drove expensive cars, and enjoyed Milwaukee's nightlife as much as Kelly did. Kelly told her father she was in love with Zacco, but Tony had reservations. Zacco was difficult to reach, seemed to keep parts of his life hidden, and never appeared fully invested in the relationship. What neither Kelly nor her friends knew was that Zacco was living a double life. He had been in a relationship with another woman, Megan Pollock, for 3.5 years. Megan believed they were dating exclusively and had even discussed marriage. She had no idea Kelly existed. The evening of October 10th, 2013, began routinely. Kelly and Chris met at his apartment around 8 p.m., attempted to purchase cocaine, and then walked to Allium, a nearby bar. They spent several hours drinking with friends. Around 2:37 a.m. The next morning, security cameras captured Kelly and Chris entering his apartment building. They were laughing and talking, appearing to have a pleasant conversation as they rode the elevator to his 18th floor unit. It was the last time anyone would see Kelly Dwyer alive. According to Zacco's later statement to police, they used drugs and engaged in sexual activity before passing out. He claimed Kelly left at 9 a.m. that morning, saying he heard the door close and looked at the clock, but did not actually see her leave. All day on October 11th, Zacco did not hear from Kelly. He claimed he was busy traveling to his mother's house to drop off sports equipment. The following morning, October 12th, began as an ordinary Saturday at Lululemon, but when 10 a.m. arrived and Kelly hadn't shown up for her shift, her manager Karen Horton knew something was wrong. Kelly was punctual and responsible. Missing work without calling was completely out of character. Karen tried calling Kelly's cell phone, but every call went straight to voicemail. She then called Chris Zacco. He told her he also hadn't heard from Kelly in a couple of days and suggested she might simply be upset with him. As the day progressed, concern turned to alarm. There was no activity on Kelly's social media, no activity on her bank cards, and her phone remained off. That same day, Kelly Dwyer was officially reported missing to the Milwaukee police. Detective Tammy Trammell McLean was assigned to the case. Park Lafayette Towers was a fortress of surveillance, with 28 security cameras monitoring every exit and entrance. If Kelly had left at 9 a.m., as Zacco claimed, the cameras would have proved it. Detectives began the tedious process of reviewing the footage. They watched Kelly and Chris enter at 2:37 a.m. They then reviewed footage from every camera, every exit, and every time frame when Kelly could have possibly departed. The results were chilling. Kelly Dwyer was never captured on any camera leaving the building. She entered with Chris Zocco in the early morning hours, and after that, the electronic eyes showed no trace of her. The surveillance told a clear story. Kelly Dwyer had not left that building alive. On October 14th, Detective Trammell McLean arrived at Zocco's apartment to question him. Zocco appeared cooperative, but not particularly concerned. He downplayed their relationship significantly, characterizing it as casual rather than the romance Kelly had described. He admitted they used cocaine together and pointed police toward other men Kelly had been dating. As detectives spoke with Zocco, one officer received a text from the team reviewing security footage. The message was brief. She did not leave. The implications were immediate. If Kelly entered Zocco's apartment and never left the building, something had happened inside that unit. Zocco's claim was a lie. Detectives noticed drugs scattered around the apartment, giving them grounds to take him to the station. But Zocco invoked his right to an attorney, and the interview ended. Detectives obtained a search warrant. What they found went far beyond expectations. The search revealed signs of both violence and a cover-up. The bathroom shower curtain had been torn from its hooks and was missing. The bathroom rug and several towels were gone. The entire room reeked of bleach. But the most disturbing discoveries were on Zocco's electronic devices. On his phone, detectives found a video recorded 3 weeks before Kelly's disappearance, showing her in severe distress during a sex act, struggling to breathe while bound and blindfolded. Detectives could not determine if Kelly knew she was being recorded. They found photographs of Kelly appearing completely unconscious. On other devices, they discovered violent asphyxiation-related pornography. Then there was the child pornography. Multiple disks and hard drives contained images and videos of child sexual abuse, some featuring victims as young as 2 or 3 years old. Detectives described it as some of the most disturbing material they had ever encountered. In Zocco's vehicle, investigators found a black leather glove containing Kelly's DNA. On October 17th, Chris Zocco was arrested and charged with maintaining a drug house, possession of controlled substances, and 17 counts of possession of child pornography. He was named as a person of interest in Kelly's disappearance, but detectives did not yet have enough evidence to charge him with murder. The Dwyer family held a press conference, offering a $10,000 reward. Kelly's mother, Maureen, stood before the media, her voice breaking. "Every day it gets harder to remain hopeful. I can't believe I've survived a month without my daughter." While in custody, Zocco allegedly told another inmate that he had killed Kelly during what he called a rough sexual encounter. The inmate claimed Zocco also tried to solicit help arranging a hit on an ex-girlfriend. These statements reinforced detectives' certainty, though they weren't enough for a murder indictment. Zocco pleaded guilty to drug charges but fought the child pornography counts. He was convicted on 16 of 17 counts and sentenced to 19 years in prison. Throughout the process, he refused to provide any information about Kelly. Meanwhile, Kelly remained missing. Her case was reclassified as cold in 2014, devastating her family. Tony Dwyer refused to accept that the search was over. In early 2015, he hired a private investigation firm to conduct organized searches around Milwaukee. But before those searches began, a break came from an unexpected source. On May 1st, 2015, a local resident named Christopher Fountain was searching for shed deer antlers in rural Jefferson County. As he pushed through tangled buckthorn bushes along a dead-end road, he discovered what he initially thought was a deer bone. Moving closer, Fountain realized he was looking at the back of a human skull. The skeleton was largely intact. There were no clothes, no personal items, and no obvious signs of trauma. Dental records confirmed the remains belonged to Kelly Dwyer. The discovery brought both relief and renewed anguish. Because Kelly's body had been exposed to the elements for 19 months, the medical examiner could not determine a definitive cause of death. However, entomologists analyzed soil samples and determined her body had been placed there shortly after her disappearance in October 2013. The location itself told a story. Kelly's remains were found just off a rural road, approximately 6 miles from Interstate 94, the direct route between Milwaukee and Madison. This route was significant. On October 12th, the day Kelly was reported missing, Chris Zacco had made a 160-mile round trip on that exact road. His explanation? He claimed he was driving to the Mouse House, a shop outside Madison, to buy specialty cheese for his girlfriend Megan's parents. Zacco did buy the cheese, but the trip made no sense. Milwaukee had numerous specialty cheese shops within miles of his apartment. Why drive 80 miles each way for something available locally? And why make that specific trip the very morning Kelly was reported missing? Investigators believed the cheese purchase was a calculated alibi to cover the disposal of Kelly's body. Detectives interviewed Megan Pollock, whose testimony proved critical. On the evening of October 11th, Megan and Zacco had dinner plans. Zacco arrived over an hour late, offering no explanation beyond phone troubles. Megan noticed he seemed agitated, nervous, and distracted. That night, she had to change the bed sheets because Zacco was sweating profusely. Phone records revealed that between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. that evening, Zacco had removed the SIM card from his phone. It remained out for 17 hours, meaning he deliberately made himself untraceable during the critical period when Kelly's body was likely being moved. Furthermore, Megan remembered that Zacco's large travel golf bag, which usually sat in his apartment, was missing after that weekend. A cadaver dog later showed strong interest in Zacco's bed, the bathroom, the hallway, and the trunk of his Audi. The evidence was building, but it was circumstantial. Over the next 2 years, investigators interviewed multiple women who had been in relationships with Zacco. Their testimonies painted a disturbing pattern. They described consensual relationships that quickly escalated into dangerous territory, involving strangulation and asphyxiation, where Zacco ignored safe words. One woman, identified as Miss C, described an incident where Zacco pinned her down and raped her while her children slept in the next room. Investigators believed this pattern revealed exactly what happened to Kelly Dwyer, an encounter where Zacco cut off her oxygen supply until she died. On May 8, 2017, nearly 4 years after Kelly's disappearance, Chris Zacco was charged with first-degree reckless homicide, hiding a corpse, and strangulation. The trial began in September 2018. The prosecution presented a timeline that trapped Zacco. They argued that the surveillance footage proved a mathematical impossibility. Kelly entered, but she never left. They overlaid this with cell phone data. Kelly's phone lost connection to the local tower at 10:08 a.m., just 2 minutes after surveillance captured Zacco leaving the building. Prosecutors argued that Zacco returned to the apartment at 10:22 a.m. after a 14-minute absence that was used to dispose of Kelly's phone. Karen Horton testified about meeting Zacco shortly after Kelly went missing. She described a visceral reaction to his behavior. He wasn't worried. He was performative. "I'm so sorry for what you're going through," he had told her, comforting the co-worker rather than asking for help finding his girlfriend. The defense, led by attorney Craig Mastantuono, focused on the gaps. They argued that cameras never showed Zacco removing the golf bag or loading anything suspicious into his trunk. They questioned why a man sophisticated enough to pull his SIM card would leave a credit card trail buying shoes near the body site. Most significantly, they argued that without a cause of death, the jury could not convict him of homicide. But the prosecution countered that the totality of the lies pointed to only one conclusion: the cleaned apartment, the missing items, the cadaver dogs, the SIM card, and the inexplicable cheese run all pointed to Zacco. On October 5, 2018, the jury deliberated for just over 2 hours before finding Chris Zacco guilty on all charges. At the sentencing hearing in December, Kelly's father, Tony, addressed the court. "This demon has destroyed us," he said, his voice shaking. Kelly's mother, Maureen, looked directly at Zacco. "He deserves to live a long, long life in jail, hopefully tortured by the choices he's made." Judge Jeffrey Wagner rejected the defense's request for leniency. What started out being consensual became an utter disregard for human life, Wagner said. "You ended up killing your victim by choking them to death for your own pleasure." Judge Wagner sentenced Chris Zacco to 31 years in prison, followed by 19 years of extended supervision, to run consecutively with his existing sentence. In total, he will serve 50 years before becoming eligible for release. He will be 93 years old. Chris Zacco remains incarcerated at Green Bay Correctional Institution. For Kelly's family, the conviction brought justice, but not peace. Maureen Dwyer has spoken about the permanent alteration of her life, the isolation, the illness, and the new normal, where the hurt never fully fades. To honor her, the family established the Kelly Dwyer Memorial Peace Project, dedicated to helping women impacted by domestic violence. Kelly Dwyer moved to Milwaukee to reinvent herself. She found a career she loved and a community that embraced her. But she encountered a man incapable of empathy, who valued his own gratification above her life. Kelly's story is a tragedy, but also a testament to persistence. Her family's refusal to give up, the dedication of law enforcement, and the courage of the women who testified ensured that a predator was removed from society. Kelly Dwyer now rests in peace, while Chris Zacco remains behind bars, paying for the morning he chose to take her future away. Thank you for staying with me until the very end of this heartbreaking case. It's never easy to recount stories like Kelly's, but it is so important that we keep their memories alive and learn from the red flags that predators often hide in plain sight. I want to turn this over to you now. This conviction was secured almost entirely on circumstantial evidence. There was no murder weapon, no eyewitness to the crime, and no definitive cause of death. Do you think the totality of the lies, the cleaning, the timeline, and the cheese run was enough to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt? Or do you think the system took a risk? Let me know what you consider the smoking gun in the comments below. Also, I am always amazed to see how far these stories travel. I'd love to know where you are watching from right now. Drop your city or country in the comments so I can see where this story has reached. If you value deep dive investigations like this one, please hit that like button. It truly helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications. We are already researching our next case, and trust me, you do not want to miss it. Share this video to help keep Kelly's story alive. Stay safe, trust your instincts, and I'll see you in the next one.